The Three Questions. Long ago there lived a powerful king who ruled over a vast and prosperous kingdom. Yet despite all his wealth, power, and wise advisors, the king often felt uncertain about the decisions he made. One night, while sitting alone on his grand throne, he began thinking deeply. He believed that if he could find answers to three important questions, he would never make a mistake again. Those questions were simple, yet very powerful. What is the most important time to do something? Who is the most important person to listen to? And what is the most important thing to do in life? The next morning, the king announced throughout the entire kingdom that he would reward anyone who could answer these three questions correctly. Scholars, priests, philosophers, and wise men from distant lands came to the palace, hoping to impress the king and win the reward. Each wise person had a different answer. Some said the most important time was the future, because planning ahead leads to success. Others argued that the past was most important, because learning from mistakes brings wisdom. Some believed the king should always listen to his advisors, while others said priests and teachers were the most important guides. The palace filled with debates and arguments, but none of the answers satisfied the king. Finally, the king heard about a humble hermit who lived alone deep in the forest and was known for his wisdom. Determined to find the truth, the king dressed in simple clothes so no one would recognize him and quietly traveled through the forest to visit the old hermit. When the king arrived, he found the old hermit slowly digging the soil in his small garden beside a wooden hut. The hermit looked very weak and tired, but he continued his work silently, without even asking the king why he had come. Seeing the old man struggling, the king felt compassion. Without asking anything, he took the shovel from the hermit and began digging the soil himself. Hours passed as the king worked in the garden, patiently helping the tired old man. Suddenly, out of the dense forest, a man came running toward them. He was badly wounded and holding his bleeding side. Within seconds, he collapsed onto the ground near the king and the hermit. Without hesitation, the king rushed to help him. He washed the wound with water, tore a cloth, and carefully bandaged the injured man. The king stayed beside him for hours, making sure the man survived. When the wounded man finally woke up, he looked at the king with tears in his eyes. He confessed that he had once been the king's enemy and had planned to attack him out of revenge. But seeing the king save his life had changed his heart. The man knelt down and begged the king for forgiveness. That evening, the king finally turned to the hermit and asked once again for the answers to his three questions. The hermit smiled gently and said, "Your questions were already answered today." He explained that the most important time is now, because it is the only moment we truly have. The most important person is the one standing in front of you, because you never know what the future holds. And the most important thing to do is to do good for that person, because that is the true purpose of life. Hearing these words, the king finally understood the wisdom he had been searching for. As he walked back through the quiet forest, he realized that life's greatest answers are often found not in grand palaces, but in simple acts of kindness.